Welcome, everybody. We are back with the rewatch. We are now on the second part of the finale of absolute and utter crap. I'm going to try and behave myself because we have a very special panel. This time around, we have the Women's Circle. We have got three distinguished guests, bringing them back, Lady Balefire, Hannah, and Aludra. How are my ladies doing?
Thank you.
Doing just fine tonight.
Much better than last time.
Now, I don't think you ladies need much introduction because hopefully everybody who's watching this has watched all 40 previous iterations of this rewatch, so they're plenty familiar. But instead of going through your connection to Wheel of Time, let me ask you kind of to reflect a little bit upon the section that you reviewed with us, and of course, what you're drinking now. So, Lady Balefire, you were with us on one of the Tower episodes, right?
Yeah, the episode where they brought Logain into the White Tower, and I think I was talking about how, as a screenwriter, I just thought this was the worst thing they could have done because they're making this guy that's supposed to be like the worst thing you could possibly have, like the most sympathetic character. And I kind of came up with my secret conspiracy theory for this like show, and that like Logain is actually the hero and he's gonna come and save everyone.
But he is that in the books.
Yeah, he is.
So
Rand is kind of a simp, so like
the dragon we always wanted. Too bad he's gentle.
Yeah.
But you had fun?
I had a blast.
Okay. So you got pretty hammered the last time, right? So what's your plan for tonight?
I had strawberry basil margaritas, and since it's fall and it's kind of chilly today, I am having Irish coffee with the Spirit of Dublin Teeling whiskey, small batch in a rum cask. It's awesome, and I have a whole mason jar full of it. So I think it's like 3 shots of it. Putting
Pips to shame.
Yeah.
Hannah, you were there for one of the early ones. I believe it was Shidurlagurth.
Shitterlogan, yeah. Yeah. They I feel like there wasn't a lot of meat on that bone because it was just them going through a terrible set, and like we had the Perrin and Matt knife scene, which was like barely passable, but then you remember that they skipped all the fun adventure that happened in the book and realized that no, it's actually inexcusable. We were on horse watch a lot. We were really just on top of where the hell those horses were constantly.
Again, thanks. Yeah, very Absolutely. Good. But did you have fun? Because you came back, but...
I was going to say, yeah, I came back. I think I had fun. I don't remember much of the end of it. The Whiteclaws got me, but yeah, no, it was a good time.
So what are you drinking this time around?
This time around, I've got the Staghorn Oktoberfest beer from the New Glarus Brewing Company.
Now, is that also one of those kind of Milwaukee Midwestern beers that you can only get within your state?
Not only can you only get it within Wisconsin, they only make it for 2 months. So, yeah, it's like pretty rare. If I ever took it to an outside ecosystem, it would destroy all the competition. It has no natural predators.
Them's fighting words. Anyways. I'm glad you're back for this. I think you made that shitty part of an episode a ton of fun. And crap, I'm already swearing. What's my plan?
Shut the fuck up!
Yeah, no. Well, there's
bloody ashes.
There's a reason for this, and I'll bring it up. Aludra, you're back as well. You had the earlier section of episode 2, but how are you doing this time around?
Well, my medical issue, while not cleared, ebbs and flows, and I'm currently in an ebb, so I'm allowed to drink right now.
Nice.
Which I was not allowed last time, and let me tell you, watching that sober is something that I would only wish upon SJWs and my worst enemies.
Well, but we've had a surprising amount of guests after you, Aludra, that for other reasons, thankfully, we're not kind of getting drunk. I even in solidarity did one with Prophet of the Dragon. Well, at least for half of it, and it sucked. Like it was probably the worst rewatch because I was not having fun at all. And then when I got good and loaded in the break, and I mean, I chugged like half a bottle of wine. We had a blast on the second one, so. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to you actually being able to drink and indulge, but also, I think that this is one of the worst 9-minute segments of television I have ever seen. I did some prep work before this. I think you ladies are in for a treat, so long as you're getting loaded. But before moving on, I do have to ask, Aludra, like, what are you drinking then?
My go-to for a while now has been Blackheart rum and Coke.
Nice.
Oh,
Blackheart rum is has a slightly different blend than your average spiced rums, which mostly seem to go for the Captain Morgan blend.
okay.
Which I'd say lends the Captain Morgan types, and like even like Kraken and stuff is just Captain Morgan more. But the Blackheart is like it's a little bit more mellow, a little more clovey. And it's like now we've gotten used to it. Now we have other stuff, and it's just like that's just not as good as a rum and Coke. With rum and Coke as doing the other, unless of course you're doing a Cuba Libre, in which case you want to have a nice anejo rum.
So are you endorsed by Blackheart, or
Nope.
are you endorsing them?
I would be endorsing them, yes. I'm not endorsed by. I don't know how much money they'd be willing to give a stay-at-home mom to endorse them.
Well, hey, Aludra, we're almost up to 400 subscribers, so I mean, we're growing. We're like 8 times bigger than when you were on the first time. So, anyways,
Yeah, even though as bad as it was, all I remember was pointing out that they flipped the frames a few times on the one episode that I watched. Well, that and the bad dog wolf things.
oh, there's so much more here, and again, this is the women's circle. So, you ladies panel, we're completely expecting a lot of braid tugging, a lot of arms folded under breasts, and plenty of sniffs. So.
Hey, y'all
right.
braiding your hair, right?
My hair's been in a braid since this morning because my daughter had lots of stuff to do today.
Excellent.
Yeah, I braided my hair.
Pips, I thought your hair was always braided. Or, sorry, your mane.
Mane and tail.
Mane and tail shampoo, dude. He's ready.
All right. Let me quickly ask here. So, Pips, what are you drinking, man? Like, you don't need any further introduction, but are you still going on the moonshine?
I am. Yeah, I had to get another bottle of the stuff, which feels like really throwing money away because there's no redeeming quality to having this other than
it can't be that much money.
I think it's
tax free, right?
Well, like I said, it's not actually moonshine. It's I live in a terrible state that has state-run liquor stores. So the tax stamp is actually paid on it, so it's not moonshine. It's just unaged whiskey basically. And I mean, other than it's the fastest way to make you lose your vision, which I guess is a pro when we're doing a rewatch of The Wheel of Prime.
Yeah, if
you could always indulge in wormwood liquor.
Chase the Green Fairy.
I don't know. I haven't seen the FDA rule on if that's animal safe.
We need to get together and make our own moonshine out of wormwood and call it Ordeath. Seriously.
Oh yeah, let's go.
That's how we'll profit from this whole thing. All right. Now, Alex, Rings of Power ended last night. Apparently, you went on a bit of a tear. How are you feeling, bud?
You okay, Alex?
I'm just going to say, I don't think I've been sober in about 30 hours. Like, the party didn't really stop. So I actually had to reach deep into my emergency stores, and I had to pull out a good old bottle of Southern Comfort.
Yeah.
All right.
Why is that your emergency store?
Because it's way in the back of the closet, because I would never go to it knowingly, and then if anybody like broke into my place, nobody would take it.
All
Yeah,
right.
but I mean, have some standards, man. Like, you know.
Say, have some standards.
What part of the 30-hour portion of that speech made you think that I had anything approaching standards?
I mean, you're describing most days in my life, and I feel like I have standards.
Ouch.
Then again, we are sitting here about to watch this, so
Yeah,
maybe we don't have
no
standards.
No, not at all.
We're-
All right.
No.
All right, we are in for not a treat. I would say I did some preparation before this. I rewatched this before the rewatch. I don't do that all the time, but I do have to say I was shocked at how much sucks is in this.
Yes.
But because we are on a women's circle and we've not done this, I think the three of us, Alex, Pips, and I, were very proud to get as many female fans of the Wheel of Time on as we did. And serendipitously, when we were bringing people back for this final episode, it just so happened, hey, you know what? Maybe we can get three ladies together. And so it's great that we got everyone here together, and it behooves me really to back up one scene and ask the ladies, what the fuck did you think about Land Smash Pump and Dump? Village Council and Women's Circle, I hope we get together and 3-on-3, we make this a very good rewatch, because our first Harry Palm scene is coming now.
Yay!
No, don't celebrate. This is so creepy. Or is it?
Is that, you tell me.
I think I was already blasted when I watched this the first time, so I don't even remember this.
I still claim it's crazy looking at this now, having seen, you know, the better and worse things that we've seen since this show first came out, because it was like a meme when you know, a character had green fingers on House of the Dragon, because it's like, oh, they forgot to do CGI, and it was like, how could they? They're so terrible. They forgot to CGI. And here we see Wheel of Prime making someone have green fingers, and you're like, I wish they had forgotten to CGI.
Wish they did, because it makes me think that he's been jerking the like freaking green man that he meets in the book.
I was gonna say, yeah, maybe they did beat the green man off screen.
They took everything and twisted it around wrong, you know?
The blight is nature. For leftist environmentalists, this is just fucking weird.
This is weird for me as like a gardener too. It's just weird.
Are we gonna roll it, Pips?
Roll it.
Here, I need to take another swig before I hit play. Sorry, guys.
Roll it like a D20.
It hits just as hard every time, and it still is better than this.
What did you dream? Dreams have great meaning, especially here, so close.
Do they, Moraine?
It was the Dark One. He knows where we are.
Prove it.
He's coming.
That's what she said.
Pause.
Oh, there it is. Possible thumbnail number 1. I will say, like, honestly, this is just the show doing what every single one of us has wanted to do the entire time. It's like, will you shut the F up? Oh my god.
I'm surprised they were willing to do that to Her Royal Majesty.
So I love that they did this, because they're now going to have to explain to non-book readers the idea that if you die in the dream, you die in real life.
You die in the game, you die in real life.
Yeah, so people are going to be like, well, that's not true. Like,
no, this one's not
died
egregious.
in the dream before.
She's not in Rand's dream. She's like a projection, but it's a problem for a little bit later when Rand seppukus himself.
I was going to say,
Yeah, when Homeboy decides to slice himself.
But this
The
is
only
even
person
know.
Rand managed to kill this entire show is himself.
oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, I know.
Also, the other thing is like, okay, so fake out deaths are
Yes.
bad because they ruin stakes.
Yes,
This
yes,
is even
yes.
worse because nobody believes you actually have the guts to do this. Like,
Yep.
Yep.
it's
Not to your
terrible
second.
on so
Alex.
many levels.
What number of fake out death for Moraine is this by this point?
Is this her third?
Yeah, because she got stabbed in the shoulder, had the exit wound, and it was infected and whatnot. And she was going to die. Ooh, she gets healed at the last minute. Then there's the whole Logain throwing all the axe shards or whatnot around, and she gets her throat slit. But Nynaeve is there to save the day. And now we get this dream one. So 3 fake out deaths from Moraine alone. Rand gets a fake out death because he seppukus himself. Loyal gets a fake out death at the end of this whole fucking shit. Sorry, Pips, that's a bit of a spoiler for you. But Lan had a fake out death. Like, everybody had a fake out death.
It's only spoilers in the fact that everybody's food is spoiled by the time they're done with this because it made everything rotten.
Stupid too is the fact that like they didn't have the kind of dreams, you know, when like in the books they go and like the first night that they camp out with everyone and like Brain starts teaching Egwene how to use that stone to channel. They didn't establish that dreams mean anything. They haven't had any like, oh, the Dark One is tainting your dreams and stuff like that. They haven't established that. So how do we even know that the dream world is real?
If they try to do anything,
doesn't he eat a bat?
The opposite, I think he throws it up.
He throws it up, and I'm sure he's gonna die of the coof. That was it. I was like, Brand's done.
Yeah, Fran is Chinese. He might have set off a global pandemic, but I just
he like looks over. He's like, "Well, she's eating fish. I should, maybe get this back."
I don't get how they're just like, yeah, let's just make up random shit happen in the dreams. Like that's how this goes now.
Imagine trying to set up Telel on Riyadh now. Like, just imagine.
Oh God.
This is what's interesting. I do think they've butchered Teleran Riyadh, but that's Egwene's thing.
Yeah,
right?
And she's supposed to be the favorite character.
She how much development? Like it's all like, all right, so Perrin got the wolves, Matt's got the luck, Rand's the fucking dragon. Egwene is Teleran Riyadh. That's like her whole frickin' arc.
Dreamwalker.
I will say, as much as I already didn't like her, I did read that link that someone put in of them breaking down how Egwene has main character syndrome and other issues going on the whole thing. I'm just like, I just hate her that much more now.
Yeah.
To me, I think the issue is going to be that this show is already really bad about being confusing to people who have actually read the books and are confused about what the new rules are. And there's no way that the person who says that Egwene is his favorite character, her whole arc is that, right? They're not going to throw that out, right? So it's going to show up at some point. And imagine trying to explain to the non-book reader how now there are stakes in the dream because it's a different dream than the previous time I showed you the dream when I didn't explain it to you and you thought you understood it. It's like that's what was well done in the books.
You got to think the opposite. So what's going to happen is Egwene is going to go into the dream, and we, the lucky film show critics, get to see her kill herself to get herself out of the dream constantly. It's going to be great. She's basically just going to fucking suicide like every other episode.
What are those wise ones talking about? All you got to do is just self-delete and you're out.
Yep.
No training required.
Yeah.
Gideon's going to be a lot less scary.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Anyways,
moving right along.
Moraine with a giant dick in her mouth. Or wait, yeah. Fuck this show. Like, as if they're not going for a fucking porn shot here. Anyways, sorry, Aludra.
Way to sell that acting, Josha.
Wow. Now Now he's got parent disease.
I'm just saying, first reaction, what do you think he's looking at?
Alzamon.
I'm not saying what do you think he's looking at like in the show. I'm saying if you just saw Rand making this face at any other point in the show, what do you think he'd be looking at?
I'm going to leave this to the women's circle.
The casting tape? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Look at those eyebrows. What the? He's supposed to be a ginger.
Man, that's terrible CGI.
He's not even a redhead, and I hate it. I hate it so much.
The lack of
redhead
ginger brows is a dead giveaway. I hate it.
So I like how Balsamon's outfit here is more akin to what Latra was wearing in the fucking opening.
It's that
I mean, I would give
non-binary
costume
fashion.
props where they're due. They do try to do some continuity there.
Nah, it still
it's
sucks.
really
Doesn't mean that it looks
interesting.
good, but they give it continuity.
But
You guys-
Hopper in
sword-
the chat had a phenomenal answer to Pip's question, and his answer was Perrin boning Egwene is what Rand is looking at.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
No, I hate his clothes so much. It looks so bad. Everyone's wearing like hakamas, and if you've ever been to an anime expo or anime convention, you know what those are, and they look awful. Like Marina's wearing that, but I noticed Ishii here has the same weird like 3-finger ring that Luce Theron did.
Yes.
What's that mean?
It's a sling ring.
Yeah,
It's an Umbriel or
that's
something.
exactly what it is. It's a sling ring. They watched Doctor Strange and thought that now wizards have to have. Yes.
Yeah, so
This was an atrocity.
So there's something that probably I think gets established, and again, it's a rewatch, right? Full spoilers. We've been following the show, we've been following the announcements, but the Gowan kind
Speak
of
for yourself.
okay.
I am not consuming any new media around this until after everything. And if you want to have me on as a guest speaker, I will totally do it. And I will go into it blind and probably drunk.
What about blind drunk? That's the only safe way to do it.
True enough. All right. So what I mean is the royal we that we Dane Bornhold Esquire.
Dude,
we have seen the Gowan casting script. Well, within that, there was kind of a dialogue where Gowan's trying to explain how Ishamael was a friend of the Dragon Reborn and betrayed him. So I think what's going on here and what they're setting up is that the ring that Lewis Theron had, Ishamael ended up stealing, and it's at around the same time that he deceived Lewis Theron about caging the Dark One. So I don't think this is the last we've seen of the stupid ring. But
are they doing like a Dumbledore Grindelwald thing? Is that what you're saying?
I haven't seen that, but probably
They have the same ring.
Probably.
So I actually have a different theory. My theory is that these people are so retarded that they basically thought nothing beyond the idea that Aes Sedai in the Third Age have rings. So Aes Sedai in the Age of Legend must have had rings.
Maybe they're brass knuckles.
This is the Age of Legend Aes Sedai ring, and it is just as stupid and ridiculous as the Third Age Aes Sedai rings.
But it's not as stupid and ridiculous as the CGI that we're going to see up close in a couple of seconds.
I mean, it already looks terrible. Like
Just wait.
You know the trope about like how you hide bad CGI and lighting?
Mm-hmm.
Color grading is not for bad lighting, you guys. Oh my god.
I wish they had done that. Like looking at this, I wish they had just hidden this in darkness.
True, Pips.
It's getting worse. Just like play me forward like 5 seconds, if that.
You tell me it gets worse, and then you ask me to hit play. What's wrong with you?
Want to get through it, Pips? Do it, Pips.
I know this is supposed to be the blight, but where's like
So Lady Balefire, with our D&D group we're doing with OBG 70, you're intimately familiar with a bag over your head. Is that the effect we're seeing here? Because this honestly looks like it.
don't tell anyone. This is what I look like without the helmet.
I don't believe that. I think that this looks like if you went back to the old Mummy movie and if they just did a close-up shot on his left testicle.
I mean, is he worse than Deadpool in the Deadpool movies? You know, the whole like avocado had sex with a contour map of Idaho or whatever.
Grosser, older avocado.
Funny. He's at least funny. I can't give him funny. This guy's retarded. I'm sorry.
Just look at the eyes in the still. Like what? They're not even located where eyes are. Like
they were really trying to instill fear, and then like 10 people burst out laughing.
With Balsamon, I mean,
but
you know, dude.
How were Ishamael's eyes or Balsamon's eyes described in the books, right? They were like limitless caverns of fire, right? And what this looks like is a bag over some guy's head, and then underneath the bag, because if you zoom in, if you get right into the nitty-gritty, you can see there's a layer over top these eyeballs, these flame eyeballs. The bag is still there.
Yeah.
There's still a layer of the supermarket shit bag over top his eye sockets.
Yeah, it looks like there's a bag over 2 Christmas lights.
Yeah.
And the flashlight's too bright, so you put a sock over it. Looks like that.
Does anyone looking at this think that they couldn't have done this better by just have a dude with a painted mask like frickin' Agenor, right? Give him the mask that Agenor had, or was it Balthamel? One of the two of them had a mask.
Give him a regular face and just CGI his eyes. And when he opens his mouth, he's also got fire in his mouth. Like, that's how you do it. Because remember the Saw? Remember Moradin with like the black fleck across his, and how it's getting worse. That's how the flame shit kind of happened with Ishamael. He abused the true power too much, and that's why his eyes turned to fire. The fuck is this?
Does anyone remember the Ghost Rider movies and how those were like $20 budget, half a ham sandwich budget, just like utter crap, like that Judgment Stare. Yeah, Nicolas Cage had a better effect for like the fire stare.
Ghost Rider looked better.
Yeah. Ghost Rider, a Nicolas Cage movie.
I don't know. I'm still going with the I've seen enough.
Cage is the best thing in his bad movies.
I've seen enough of the CGI in this show. The solution is not using more. Like, honestly, we talked about this before. The solution to this season's CGI problem was you shouldn't have been able to see the weaves at all, and they shouldn't have given him flaming eye. If you're going to do it this shittily, just don't do it. Just like, we copied the effect of Balthamel or Agenor, whichever one. I think you're right, is Balthamel. But we copied that effect and we put it on Ishamael because it was cheaper and we didn't think we had the budget to make the fiery eyes look good. Honestly, that level of honesty from a production company, I'd be like, I accept that. I would rather see that than this level of just incompetent CGI. This is atrocious. This is the worst thing I've seen since not even PlayStation 2 graphics. This is PlayStation 1 graphics.
It's fucking Crash Bandicoot, man. But Pips, you said you haven't seen this yet, have you? This is your first time going through this, or did you?
Wait, you guys,
I'm still going in raw. You guys are giving me the meat and giving it to me raw.
Okay.
We'll see that actually.
All right, Pips, you win. All right, but you're going to see something even worse pretty soon, right? And remember, plastic bag Christmas lights. CGI.
You need to stop. You need to stop telling me that.
Sorry, Pip. All right, Lady Balefire.
Get back to the story. Like it said, I wouldn't have expected it would be you. And he's calling him Luz Theron. Like up to this point, who the fuck is Luz Theron? We don't know. We don't know who this person is, except from a stupid cold opening before this.
Yeah.
Have no connection to him and Rand. They were calling Luz Theron the Dragon Reborn, which is stupid, but...
All right, so going forward, we need to pay attention to the shit CGI, but also the dialogue between them, because there are mountains of problems with all of them.
I guess I just don't get. I wouldn't have expected it to be you. Like, has he been watching the show and doing the like? Which one of them is it? Like,
Well,
I thought this guy knew
The
his
only-
like soul, knew his spirit. Why would he? Why wouldn't it be him? He knows it's him. It's literally him. Like,
No, the only
it's not a
thing
mystery.
that is actually even remotely accurate about the Who's the Dragon plot is that Ishamael doesn't know which one of the three boys it is, right?
Yeah.
But by the
True,
time
true.
that they're at the eye, he does.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like,
Well,
it laid it
yeah,
bare
but
at that
that's
point.
Yeah,
but that's because at that
but
point
they-
there's one of them
the show-
channeling.
Yeah, and the show skipped all of the dream sequences between that.
Yes.
And this
Yeah,
is the
that
problem with
was
the
my
writing
point.
is that they're basically taking in or drawing inspiration for this scene from dialogue from the earlier dreams in the Eye of the World.
Yep.
This should not be happening here. This is a
tells me that they actually did read the books. They just don't care.
No,
Oh,
it tells
There's
you
so
that they
much
read the
stuff that
wiki.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's only there because they read the books, and then they just twisted it to their own weird purpose.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
they
it
read the
sucks.
wiki.
They've got too much weird, deep crap that's twisted around wrong to be. It's like, oh wait, that kind of makes sense for this
No,
piece, but then they twist it around wrong.
Aludra, they read the books, but they weren't smart enough to understand the books. That's the problem. These are Brandon Sanderson fans.
I think you give them too much credit.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're Stephen King fans because Stephen
Maybe.
King doesn't think that our troops are smart enough to read his books anyway.
Dan, you really do need to
Dan-
stop telling me that it gets worse. You have to understand, I'm the one who has the play button here. If you just keep
It always
demoralizing,
gets worse.
if you just keep
Into the
demoralizing
darkness.
me, I'm just gonna pass out drunk, and you guys are gonna be sitting here saying, "Hey, can we hit play?" And then there's just gonna be silence.
Ips. I'm putting my spurs in your flanks.
Eps,
Carry on.
I respect you enough
Yeah.
not to lie to you. It gets worse.
I can set off some
Bottoms
fireworks
up.
on his butt. Okay, wait.
He is
Okay,
like,
I guess
well-
it is actually in his eye. That's all right, I guess.
Did Rand
So he's gonna do
actually do sort of like an action?
Yeah.
Did
but-
something, you
did.
guys. He did
Even
something.
if it was with a bow and an arrow that should have come out of Toys R Us.
Don't worry, guys. It'll have no effect. It'll have no consequence. It's
Oh,
fine.
okay, good. Thank God. I was really beginning
Balefire
to
is just a weave, guys.
question my grasp of the character Randall Simp that they've shown us so far. I'm like, wait a second, he did something.
And then immediately
Just
proved he
stuff.
didn't.
Because of it's because Egwene isn't there.
All right.
Just play it like
So she can do it instead.
you thought we were being funny about bag overhead and Christmas light. Just watch
Nope.
this effect.
Just watch. It's awful.
I think he's wishing he drank with us. I mean,
That's
Rand,
even
not
scarier.
this Ishmael.
He's the translator from Zero Dark 30. Oh, wow.
Oh man, that's
Can we laugh about how Rand was just like, oh no, a Muslim?
This guy is the platonic ideal of a sketchy carpet salesman.
So not only can you get stabbed
It
through the
just
fucking
smells-
mouth, but this guy shot with an arrow in the eye. Whereas, what happened to Moghedian? I think Alex, you mentioned this or referenced this a little bit earlier with Teleran Riyadh, but I think there was a shot or a scene in there with Birgitte with her bow, where she shot Moghedian, right? It was kind of a big deal. Kind of like Birgitte saves the day kind of shit, right?
Popped a cap in his ass.
Yes. Big important moment.
Yeah, not anymore.
Oh, excuse you, a woman shot that arrow.
Man,
true.
yeah, don't doubt the power
this
of
is
the
what I'm
weave,
saying.
guys.
it's true. That was like the Care Bear stare of sort of bow shots.
Okay, women villain, but our women's circle should be upset about this, right? Doesn't this rob a potential future victory moment for our lady heroes of the series?
I mean, we still have the pacifiers of the IDAM that they've got for the Shan Shan to deal with.
Yeah, like I said,
So,
if a woman were to
that
shoot
could be
that arrow,
quite
it would work.
hilarious on Moghedian, but I can't see it working anywhere else.
What about the bib? Oh, sorry, Aludra, you probably haven't seen the teaser for season 2, but
aside from the bit at the end of season 1, no. I just the pacifiers for the channelers and that Cliff and the girl that just gets to die because she's there because
it might actually be a big metal bib, just so you're aware. But I hope you actually don't watch.
It's a bridle? Do they get to use pairs of anguish too?
Wait. Pair of anguish, is that like the Pope's pair thing that they stuck up the... Okay.
Are you talking about the domination band?
I'm talking about an actual Renaissance torture device.
Yes, precisely, yes. The pair of anguish. There are ones that were designed for both below and for the mouth.
Okay, gross.
If you grind alone, Pips.
Yeah, all right. Let's play forward.
Giddy up, Pip.
This all sounds like things that I would rather be doing than watching this show.
You can read some Anne Bishop to get some more in depth on that crap.
We need her. She knows.
Otherwise.
No, it's not. You were doing it before.
You look nothing like him.
Appreciate Sherlock.
That's what I say about all the actors in this show.
Damn.
But still, you're him.
All the dudes are the same, to be fair. You can say that to anybody.
You know what? They probably
you don't look anything like him.
They probably wrote that line before they figured out which of the 5 was actually going to be the dragon, according to their fucking mystery. Like, Egwene shows up. You don't look anything like her.
They photoshopped Rand into the corner over here. I don't really have a problem with the casting of him though. Like that actor seems fine. His costume is dumb as hell. His costume is dumb as hell, but like,
In the book, he's wearing like thigh-high leather boots with silver embroidery on. This guy has good fashion sense. I used to think it was a drag queen, and then Dane was saying, oh no, like it's like 16th, 17th century. And I'm like, yeah, I get that now. Yeah, thigh-high with silver
I sent her a picture of Clive Owen from Elizabeth the Golden Age, where he's like walking down with the high boots.
I'm like, okay, I changed my mind. It's not a drag queen.
Well, again, I acknowledge that his costuming is atrocious. I'm just saying, him as an actor, it sounds like he was in Zero Dark 30. I feel bad that his agent put him in this show. Like, sorry, man, that's a rough thing to have happen to you.
Casting, I had no picture in my head of what Ilan, Moore, and Tedrani should look like.
Agreed.
I have no problems with, as long as he's reasonably handsome, because that was about the only character thing we got. I'm going to go with this guy does not have unpleasant features.
Yeah, he's a sort of swarthy but good-looking guy.
I might look at his butt, and that's about it.
Yeah,
missing the thigh highs, to be honest.
Well, there's no thighs in this shot, so we'll see. We'll see if his thighs, sort of please you later.
They don't. But we can continue because
it's all about the calves.
I see it behind your eyes.
Oh man, are they shipping these two guys too?
Wait. Can you pause there? Pips, you got to pause here. So, yes, bad touch. Ilan,
you
Moore,
and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals. Oh, sorry, not that bad touch.
Let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
Damn it, Pips. Damn it, Lady Balefire.
I'm really not sure which way Rand's shirt's supposed to be at this point, because like I said, the last time I watched, they kept flipping
They do keep flipping
the thing. I was like, I don't even know which way that he's supposed to be facing right now.
Here's the bigger issue. So what he thinks is the dark one, what we know is Balsamon Shamiel, touches his cheek, and he slaps the hand away, and he walks to the other side of him. What's going?
You don't
sword, slap it away and run. He's got a sword. He doesn't draw the sword. He basically slaps it away and is like, "Get your hand away from me!" And he walks to the other side of him.
To paraphrase one of my farmer friends, you're aware of the thing called the tomcat? There's also the thing called the Timcat, after you've shoved a cat in a boot and cut off his balls.
Yeah, okay, that's probably Rand. So Rand, the ballless cat, all right, doesn't like being embraced by his cheek. But
Well, I mean, he does think it's the Dark One touching him. He probably, I mean, it's like, if we're going to be quasi-fair, it's just like,
He's
oh,
going
wait, the
for a
Dark One touched
stabbed him in the gut.
Ew.
He's got a sword, just stabbed him in the gut.
He only likes it when men caress him below the waist.
oh,
And I think
Pips.
about
Oh, yeah, you
it,
got to
I
go in with the
touch
group on the
myself.
bottom first.
Anyways, I just found it jarring being like, all right, gonna
Does it matter whether you're asleep or awake?
It matters a lot.
Here we are, finally having a conversation.
Immensely, dude.
Sit down. It's pathetic, you know. Common for
I agree.
Everything
Is that the audience talking?
Wait
Wait a minute. Why would he even deign to give...
Wait, is that
and
Dane as in
Moiraine.
my name or
No,
DEI?
Dane.
Why would he
The one with the
Dane
G- the one with the
Cornwall
G in
and
it.
give him a
The one with the
targeting?
G in it. Why would Ishmael would never call Moiraine an Aes Sedai?
No, right?
So-called
he calls
Aes Sedai.
So-called Aes Sedai.
Or a
No
wish she
fault.
was, or
A pathetic excuse for.
It's a dagger on her waist. It's like, what?
Oh, she's gonna try and slit Rand's throat with that later, and it showed up in the
It's
prologue,
so
and it
stupid.
didn't show up anywhere in between because Alex is a fucking genius.
Even a Shamael won't insult Moiraine. That's how protected she is by the narrative.
Yeah.
oh, the true Taverin / creator. Oh,
She really is way more Taverin.
That's the problem. See, in the original Wheel of Time, Bella was the creator. In this version, Moiraine is the creator.
So
Oh,
I can see that. She does,
The only
she does give
explanation.
off a sort of like bumbling, incompetent, like god. Like
There's a
she-
wonderful
she-
little
she
book
made
called
everything
Drinking
and then-
Midnight Wine by Simon R. Green, where Gaia, the embodiment of Earth, has chosen to forget who she was. And I'll paint this Moiraine with that brush.
Can I just say, like, hey, women's circle, why do the dudes get, like, cool, wise mentors like Gandalf and stuff, and we have, like, this snippy, like, card wrangler woman? Like, it just pisses me off.
I'm gonna make a joke here that I'm probably gonna have to delete in post. But given the last thing that we saw Moiraine doing in a dream sequence, do you think she's dead here, or do you think that she went down on Swan during the wrong time of the month?
Red wings, guys. You gotta earn your red wings.
So that particular dagger through the mouth thing was maybe more of what additional apparatus they were using then?
No, it's a period joke, and that's fucking gross, Pips.
No, I wasn't going with the period joke. I was going with the getting stabbed bit.
It's the dick dagger from, like, Galadriel.
Oh,
It looks like it.
Holy shit! I just realized Moiraine also has a dick dagger now.
That's what I was saying.
Wait.
I know.
Was that the rod that that Elaine found that she was researching on the way back to Camelin after using Bowl of the Wind?
It's not the red rod. It's not the red rod.
No,
It's
not
just,
the red rod
No,
dagger.
it's just a shitty dagger. It has nothing to do with Rings of Power. This is fucking stupid. Let's move on.
I'm
This
not
is
talking about
awful.
Rings of Power. I'm not
Presley.
Oh, they are.
I will
Everybody
not
else
believe
is.
my eyes.
Giddy up, Pips.
Let's do it.
Oh,
me
I hate
missing
this so
an Aes
much.
Sedai at your side. The last time you came with 99 companions. Far
Came with 113.
Go off.
Fuck
Got
you.
99 problems.
This show.
Forsaken ain't
Fuck
one.
this show.
Sorry, I had to get in a good sniff.
Why? Why
That was
would
pretty good.
Why would you change this detail?
There's no reason.
It does.
He had 100 companions. He wasn't one of them.
They called it the 100 Companions, but it was actually more than 100, and it certainly wasn't.
Kill Bill's 88 thing.
Yeah, the crazy.
Every
Oh, it's just,
man they could muster. It was the end of the fucking world. It was like everyone they could muster.
Who had decent level of power?
Why?
Who wasn't gonna get in the way?
Why would they? Why would they change this? It serves literally no purpose other than to highlight the fact that the person who wrote this script didn't know what the fuck they were talking about.
Okay, wait. Complete derailment. Complete derailment now.
So if
Is
I
the
put
bad
on,
art? Is the bad art in the Big Book of Bad Art worse than this show?
no, the
No,
Big Book of Bad Art's
no.
great, but Alex,
Bad
go
Art's
ahead.
great.
The
so
art's
if I
still
put on-
better.
If I put on my idiot hat and tried to argue here,
Do your idiot voice when you argue.
oh man, it's so high pitched.
to evaluate.
Well, actually, what this demonstrates is that Ishamael isn't actually the Dark One, and because he doesn't know anything, he's gotten all of his information from secondhand sources. So he just thinks there were 100 companions, and that if this was actually the Dark One, he would know that there was 114. So this is actually a super clever way of hinting that this is Ishamael and not the Dark One.
Please tell me you read that on Reddit.
I did.
Seriously?
Premium copium right there.
The only way that makes sense is if you know the story to know that there were more than 100 companions, and you couldn't possibly know that without knowing that this wasn't the... Oh.
Premium copium.
The Easter egg only works if you don't need the Easter egg.
So here's my question. So for those of us who have read the Gowan...
Stop drinking out of my glass and just switch to the bottle. Just gonna put a nipple on it.
Bag.
All right. If you've read the Gowan casting scene that got released, where he's yakking about the different Forsaken for some reason in a bar, and he brings up Ishamael as like a betrayer, like the best friend of Lewis Theron who like led him to the shadow. How is this consistent? The last time that Lewis Theron came at Ishamael, he brought 99 companions. Like, this seems to be where they're getting in the way of their own story because they wanted to change the actual narrative. Instead of there being a war of shadow and Lewis Theron having to seal the bore, it's more...
And versus women?
Didn't we have an insightful person once upon a time say they're going to make their own lore and then break their own lore for fun? Once upon a time on our own Discord here.
Did I say that?
No, it was a long time ago. I think it was somebody who began with a J back in the day. They're going to make their own lore and then break that. Yeah. Early Heroes of the Horn, probably in there.
This just screams to me like they have two narratives that they're following and they can't decide between the two. And they're doing both. So one of them's for fan service and the other one's like, all right, this is how we're going to fix the story. But the 100 companions going off to fight in the War of Shadow, that seems after the prologue in this episode to be completely nuked. Like, no, Lewis Theron went off to cage the Dark One without anybody else.
He's got 99 problems, but the bitch ain't one, because, like, they don't have women. Because remember, this is men. This is all men that did this. It was men that decided their arrogance that they were going to do this. Remember the cold opening. They're not going with the lore on this one where the woman was like, where someone was like, hey, I got like the thing. I got the new source
Lady
of power.
B, let's put down your margarita. But
Strider, back here.
This is the whole point. It's basically what the cold open was establishing is that Lewis Theron didn't go to a bore because there was no bore, and he didn't try and patch over a hole in the Dark One's prison because that hadn't been drilled. He tried to cage a Dark One that was already free and acting around in the world. Why the hell would he need? Why would he need 99 other companions? What the Gowan prologue or the Gowan audition tape seems to establish is that Ishamael and Lewis Theron were friends, and Lewis Theron was tricked into trying this. All right.
Are you going to push anyone out of a tower?
Still, you failed. Have you even touched the power before? Do you have any?
Oh, he has it.
What the frick?
Love how he holds a sword like how gangsters hold freaking Glocks in like
where did you get
crime dramas.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Pips, your turn.
That's so terrible.
So what's the origin of the Heron Mark blades? Anyone remember that?
Like
I know, but I'm gonna let you guys answer this while I go to the washroom.
What, Dane? Are you serious? We're doing a lore question, and then Dane's like, I'm gonna run away.
How herons are got, but I don't know why they chose the heron to denote such the masters.
That's incidental. That's not important, but that it was a symbol, and that it was a symbol of the Blade Master, and that those blades that still exist from back in those times that were Aes Sedai forged are incredibly rare because there's an oath against the Aes Sedai even doing that nowadays.
Well, that started with the Trolloc Wars.
No.
Yes, the oath against making the blade started with the Trolloc Wars. That's what Lan said. That's what Lan said in Great Hunt.
No, it's all of the oaths were in place well before the Trolloc Wars, and the oath against Aes Sedai making weapons using the One Power is the first of the three that got established.
I like to maintain that most of the oaths were put in place because the Block Aja wrangled their way to make those oaths go in place for their own ends.
I don't understand how he's going to touch it and get the heron burned onto his hands if it's there on the blade of the
there's supposed to be one of the blades because there's 3 blades on a heron.
So there's one that's on the actual hilt. That's the one that brands into his hand. There's one on the scabbard that's on the outside, and then there's one that's etched onto the blade itself.
Oh, okay.
No, because so careful, Rogue here. It's like, no, because Gareth Bryn notices in Camelin when Rand has wrapped the handle that there is a heron on the pommel.
No, it's on the scabbard.
There's also one. No, but Rand wrapped the scabbard and the handle, but he could not wrap the pommel. There's a heron on the pommel, according to Gareth Bryn.
I think Aludra's right.
Yeah, me too.
The three herons are on the blade, on the handle, and on the pommel.
Okay,
there's not a heron on the scabbard.
So he could still get it on.
No, there's one on the scabbard.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing in the interest of time, what we know is there's not a fucking heron here, or if there is a heron here, it's not the only place that there is a heron.
Is it just me, or does it look more like a kingfisher?
Yes, that is indeed the case.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah, that sucks.
From my father.
Your father has been dead a long time, boy.
Oh, you mean that shepherd in the 2 rivers?
Rand doesn't believe that Tam is his father anymore in the show. He shouldn't have believed that since he got the revelation on fucking Winter Night, which we only saw in the previous episode, but he never reacted to it.
Yeah, it's like they don't
this show
that part.
Yeah, I know.
That was like the best subplot. The whole like him struggling with his identity for many reasons, but especially because he discovered he was adopted. That was so amazing.
First instance of that bit, the best bit from Guardians of the Galaxy. Hey, may have been your, so it's like he may have been your dad, but he wasn't your daddy or whatever it was, right? So Tam was his daddy. Tam was his daddy. Janduin was just his father. Right?
It just pisses me off. That was so pervasive throughout his entire arc in that book, and he was constantly thinking about it and like questioning himself. He like had kind of a crisis of identity because of it, and like they mention it now, and like that's it. It just pisses me off.
You know what this is? It's like we've all read the books. If somebody didn't know the background, it's like we know what should happen, so we assume that this has happened because we've read the books. But if you didn't know, this even makes sense because they do such a poor job of connecting the Tam like fever dream. They do such a bad job like connecting that if you hadn't read the source material, you'd absolutely not know what was going on.
And my point,
this is just really annoying because it's beating a dead horse. Like we get it. Like that was the point of the fucking Blood Snow. We all saw that happen. Why are we still doing this shit? And it's going to get. I mean, it's even dumber when they're like that he has the flashback to the scene where they're walking. It's like this. We're beating a dead horse. We're giving the audience information that they already have, and it's a waste of fucking time.
Yeah, and they don't explain it when it initially happens, which they do in the books, which is why what I'm saying with like, we know what happens because we've read the books, but like if you didn't, you'd be lost.
It's the fact that that information just rocked him to his core at the beginning and shaped who he was for books to come, and then now it's just like handled like shitty exposition. Pisses me off.
And the fact that it was made a point that the only reason that Luce Theron did better this time is because he was reared better by Tam Althor. And they've totally wrecked the whole thing.
Well, maybe that's actually an interesting conversation. Maybe, Ragnar and his ilk actually look at that and they're like, yeah, the whole point is he was supposed to have been raised better. So in order to, for a modern audience, show a Rand who was raised better, we obviously have to have him be raised as some sort of progressive psychopath.
I know, just like in House of the Dragon.
Maybe
family.
Season 2, Rand shaved his head, and when it grows back, he just does a side shave, and he dyes the top blue, and he pierces his ears, and he makes out with like a trans man, and he's very inclusive, and
his pronouns are they them.
Yep.
Is yours them?
Yep. Maybe that's their whole point, is that we had to have Rand be raised right.
His pronouns are ale/Finn.
That is good.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Well, there were 45 seconds.
I am now
of this
about
question.
10,
Seriously.
I'm about 10 units in, so yeah.
You do think he's your father?
I'm just gonna hit play for a while until the alcohol washes over my brain.
He heard Matt from Shin. It's not his father. He saw like Dragonmount, and because he has memories from when he's a baby.
I've seen the memes from this. I just want it to happen. I'm just gonna let it happen.
This was a dream.
No idea.
Let me tell you what those
I like to think that he was chancing it because he was like, either I kill myself or this ends. Either way.
Brandon finally stabbed somebody.
Who's gonna make the hard shaft joke?
Wait. Oh, there you go. So.
You guys, this is the first time that Rand successfully uses his blade against anybody and he kills himself.
I'm so proud.
I just like that out of all of the 3 times that Rand has been penetrated during this show, we at least get to watch one happen.
I don't want to see the other 2.
I thought we discussed that this show would definitely have been better as a porno.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my
god. The dialogue would be more coherent at least.
I mean, he who comes with the dawn.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, season 3, the porno would be great.
Can we talk about how between the teaser trailer and her knife scene in the village, we have now seen Nynaeve hold a bladed weapon more than Rand through episode 8.
She gets training in season 2, and Rand has not been trained once.
You're discounting 2 times that Rand pulled his weapon and was disarmed by first Tumblr barmaid and then Lan and the pillow biting scene. So
ouch.
I think he's held it as many times.
Using his weapon.
I don't think he ever drew it in the bar scene. I thought he took it off, put it by his bed, and then she grabbed it from him.
Yeah, you're right. I remember him getting manhandled, and I just sort of assumed that he actually got handled. But you're right. He was unrequited. That was violent.
Hey, guess what? Now we get the exact same scene that we saw before.
Yeah, so close to his touch.
Except he saw it in the dream first.
What did he say?
It's a dark one.
No, pause it here, Pips. Up till there, everything he said, it's a shot-for-shot reshot of the dream sequence.
Or they just reused it.
No, yeah, I know, but think about that, right? He sees what happens in the dream first, and then he wakes up, and he has the same exchanges with Moraine, but now it's the real world?
Or is it?
Or
How do we know? It's like they haven't established.
I don't even remember if I watched this crap. It's been almost a year.
I mean, we just watched that other scene 7 seconds ago, and it was so not memorable that I can't even confirm or deny the fact that this is a repeated scene.
It's exactly the same thing. Wakes up, and it's like dreams have great meaning. What do these say? Like all those like 4 lines or whatever back and forth. It's a shot for shot
It's the same scene.
And
Made
it
sure.
happens after in the real world.
Yeah, and I made sure because I wouldn't let Dane and the village council get one up on the women's circle, so I watched this sober.
Dane
We'll deal with their meddling.
in the village council for the same reason Sid and Bowie gets to be in the village council.
Yeah, he's like totally.
Wait, what?
Because he's just
He's
a curmudgeon.
conger, Dane's a conger, confirmed.
Wait, what? What are you saying?
I said it's like when you told me that you were going to watch
You've
this.
got to
so you
have
could
the
take
one
notes.
irrational man to point out the really bad flaws, and then you quasi backtrack and make it all reasonable again.
You're calling me Senbui.
Yes.
Wait,
No,
so who's
I
the
just
conger?
thought.
Who's the
I just-
Coplin?
I don't know what's happening here, guys.
I thought, well, I better watch this sober for the women's circle because I wasn't going to let him get one up on the women's circle. So I'm talking my brain here. Sit down,
No
Coplin.
sobriety.
Are you sniffing though?
Yes. I'm
I-
sniffing
Where are your
and
arms
my
spread?
hands are under my breast. So sit down
Hell
and
yeah.
shut up, you
Wait,
dirty
wait,
Coplin.
your hands are under your breasts?
Sniffing.
Where are your arms?
Sniffing. Where
So
is
ladies
that
are at
legal,
least-
and can I go there?
You ladies are at least 60 sniffs short of me thinking with my hair on my chest.
Real talk
Was
here.
that a good
Did
one?
Rand bring the terrible coat with him just now? I thought we killed that character off already, but
Yes,
no, he brought the
no,
terrible
our
coat with him.
flaming
He
tooth
brought the
trunk
coat with him.
for this
He had
bloody
to ask those
interview.
chaps.
Ugh. I
thought
hate
we
everything
killed the
about
coat.
this. It's the weirdly color washed. They used the same film twice. They slept on the ground when she said don't touch anything. Also, this kind of looks like Dagobah if they turned the lights on.
Oh,
I made it
Jesus.
with a volcanic
Luke, trust
bar where
yourself.
it bubbles up with time like a giant carbonated soda.
Hmm.
SODA soda.
maybe Rand could get a good mentor then, if this was Dagobah. God damn.
Yoda's showing up soon.
I think
Yoda
we,
would be so much
I think we
better.
gave this thing too much credit when we compared it to the Fire Swamp. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there is no what is it? The fighter jet
Well, we get
thing
that.
come out.
Happy pasta.
RUSs.
Like,
It's like
What did he say
shit.
to you in the dream?
No, this is about you.
It's all spiders.
Always have a
Non
plan
sequitur.
within a plan. Don't try to convince me that this
Conception,
has got
Rand.
nothing.
You
always
ladies
have a
ready
plan
for
within
this?
A plan within a plan. No, she
When did
doesn't.
this
She
become
literally
Ladies,
When did
says
that
it.
ever happen?
Are you ready for this? She's looking all husky. This is a Sa Angreal. Have we been introduced to a Tur Angreal or just an Angreal before? And here,
No.
all right, I'm going to speak loudly on these lines here. Created from the one power itself. No, that's not how it fucking happened.
Not how
I
any of
know
this
that,
works.
and I've only read this one.
But Pips, roll me forward because I'm on a bit of a roll
To be
here.
fair, my hubby did propose with the ring pop because he forgot.
Thousands of male channelers put the entirety of their strength in
How?
one small
How did
object.
that happen?
Stop. Okay, first of all, channelers, that's a fucking Sanderson term.
That is
and a
Sanderson,
fandom
like, don't
term.
even
Like,
add that.
channeler was not something that was ever mentioned in a Robert Jordan work. It happened in one of the later Sanderson ones. Thousands of channelers put the entirety of their strength into it. Okay, so they're
not
taking
how,
the
like,
eye of the
Andrea
world where 100 Aes Sedai, both male and female, died to ensure that they created a giant well of pure Sidene so Rand could wield that properly. Now they're putting thousands and they make a little fat man thing which amplifies his power not 1,000-fold but 100-fold. That's
Can
coming
we just
later.
talk about the fact that Rand has never channeled before? He doesn't know what the one
because
power
that's-
is.
Lady Balefire, that's coming up a little bit later. There's like 5 minutes of dialogue of them being retarded about how to channel, but this is about the Sa Angreal.
Why does she even have that?
Exactly.
Didn't he
That's the
find that
bigger
in Ruby
question.
Ann?
She thought that Egwene was going to be the dragon. She was
really
ambiguous. She didn't fucking know if it was male or female. And she says here that this particular Sa Angreal was created by 1,000 male channelers. Why did she
couldn't even channel through it to know it's
she
for male?
didn't know what it is, but why does she have this in her pocket? What was her plan if Egwene was the fucking dragon? Does
Does she have another one?
Does she have another one basically like, this was created by 1,000 female channelers? What the fuck is going on? This is so fucking retarded.
This.
I want to cut my fucking head off.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm done.
I like your
and
head.
I'm sorry if I was
don't do
rude
that.
to the women's circle before this. For
Shut up,
cutting
you
you ladies
stupid
off. But,
conger. Be quiet.
all right.
This should basically be treated like a nuclear weapon.
Like seriously.
If you are concerned that if
Which
you know
means it
that
should be
male channelers
Talendor,
go
not
crazy,
a weird fat man angry.
yes,
I would
the
give
Aes
someone an
Sedai should
angry
treat
alt
this.
when they don't even know how to channel. Oh my god.
I mean, can we talk about this? Is like someone saying like I've never thrown a punch before, and Moraine's like, okay, here's a gun. Like what the fuck? Or like here's a nuke. Like I don't know how to use any magic. Here's all the magic.
Almost all the magic. There's still the Chosen Call, hopefully.
God, no, do not give him that. Oh.
Oh no, the Chosen Call is going to have to be controlled by a woman, right?
I don't want to think about other things, other pieces of lore this show is going to destroy.
You know, frankly, the only way to salvage this show is to go flicker, 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 and give it to the Origins team. That is the only way to salvage it.
The Origins team was way better, but it still had its problems.
Oh, of
Still
course.
had
I'm
less
just saying,
opportunity
but
to
that
fuck
at
up.
least would be a quasi salvage.
All right, let's just keep going. This is
Giddy up.
And when you channel into it, it'll increase your power 100-fold.
I still find it amazing that they had to go back
How would he
and
know how
write
to
it.
channel? He hasn't channeled before.
He has channeled. They made a point of it in his whole weird flame void sequence with firing all the arrows in Faldara.
Back where he belongs, where his touch.
That's one thing I remember from watching it because I was at the beginning and I was quasi sober.
Okay. Two things here. All right. You don't channel into an Angreal. You embrace or you seize the source through it.
Yeah.
And those
Isn't that
words
what the
are
Origins
important because
established?
you cannot seize Sidar and you cannot
The
embrace
message does
Sidene.
care about your wordage.
I know, and the message can go fuck itself with its pegged kettlebell fucking dildo.
Of course.
I don't give a shit at this point. You cannot embrace Sidene.
Wait, what's the third one? Kushiel's Dart. What's the third one? Anyone knows?
I don't know what Kushiel's Dart is.
Oh, it's a erotic fantasy thing where the main character likes pain.
I think there's enough erotic fan fiction in the Wheel of Prime. I don't think we need
no,
to.
Stop,
I don't think we need to introduce more.
But I'm just saying that there is a fantasy series that has extremely terrible things happen to the main character in adult fashion.
Actually,
Women's Circle.
This,
oh
this
my
is
God, I
more
asked for
on
this,
this
didn't
is
I?
more on topic than you would know, because I just googled Kushiel's Dart, and
Right.
Dane, I will give you one guess as to who wrote the blurb talking about how great it is.
I wouldn't say it's great,
Rafe
but it's pretty
Judkins?
nice.
Robert Jordan called it a very sophisticated fantasy, intricately plotted, and a fascinating read.
And that's why I picked it up. It's really good.
You guys,
But it is very, very, very
talk
much
about the
into
dialogue
adult
here.
problems.
What's that?
Earth. Don't ever call Brown.
Yeah, no. Jordan never called it Earth. Sanderson never even called it Earth.
Oh, okay. So, like, the whole thing with the Eye of the World was it was untainted, magic. Did they specify that with the Sangreal? Because if that's just, like, regular, like, modern-day male channelers, Rand's gonna go fucking crazy if he tries to use that shit.
Yeah, it depends
Like, if
on
that's
the
all
buffer.
tainted...
So, Han, the Eye of the World is a well. What gets established later in Winter's Heart and Crossroads of Twilight is the mechanic of a well, right? It's a source of the power that's like captured in a Terangreal.
Remember In the show world, though, it's just
I don't
the fact
give a shit
that
about the
men
show world.
make it filthy.
I know, but that doesn't fucking count. The whole thing here about the story is that we don't have the Eye of the World in the show. What we have is this is the Dark One's prison. They are conflating Shale Ghul with the Eye of the World, and they're conflating the Sa'angreal of Kalendor,
Of
or
course
the
they
Chosen
are, because
Call,
men are filthy.
with. I'm not, but we're conflating.
Really?
Sure.
I'm really not. But more to the point. Oh, fuck, what is the point? No.
So what did they establish in
The
Winter's
points of
Heart?
your
Because I don't
past.
remember what they said about the Eye of the World in Winter's Heart.
100 Aes Sedai died, both male and female, in order to create the Eye of the World, which is a pool of pure Sidene that Rand can channel without the taint on it. And he channels it in order to accomplish a couple of things, including killing Aganor and defeating Balsamon and defeating the whole Trolloc army at Tarwin's Gap. That's what he spends that power on, and he doesn't go mad from it because it's pure, untainted Sidene. And we know that there is a mechanic for this because Cadsuane and Nynaeve both get ter'angreal, which are called wells, which they use in Farmatting in Winter's Heart, and it gets a little bit elaborated on in Crossroads of Twilight of what that actually does, where you can basically pump your true source or a little bit of the true source into an object in order to access it, even when the true source, which is everywhere and whatnot, isn't available to them because maybe it's a steading or maybe it's because it's Farmatting. So the Eye of the World is a giant well. 100 Aes Sedai died in order to make sure that the source there for Rand was clean. And what we have here is 1,000 Aes Sedai putting all their power into a Sa'angreal just to amplify Rand's power 100-fold for this thing. The amount of care and knowledge and lore put into this show, it's like, it's not even back of a napkin. It's like this guy didn't even fucking read the cliff notes.
Yeah, no, what I was just saying was like they really should have had that piece of exposition that like, because like, you know, if I've never read the books, if I'm watching this and it's like, you know, the male power, it makes you go crazy, it's tainted. Here's a shit ton of that male power. Like all of a sudden I'm like, hey, Moraine, is that? Whereas they go to lengths to explain that it was pure. It's a pure pool at the Eye of the World.
This is another thing that it absolutely convinces me that they did away with the gender binary for the magic system. I think they completely nuked that. I think if they decided to make Egwene the Dragon Reborn, they still would have had the same frickin' scene.
Yeah, of course they would.
Because what's the first thing that she like puts in her pocket in like the prologue? It's this fucking thing. So she had it in her pocket the whole time. Like I've noted it before in these rewatches. This is where we get the Sa'angreal, but it's so lore breaking. If she had this the whole time and it was a Sa'angreal, and yes, let's say it was gender neutral, so she could have used it. Why did she never use it?
The one-off.
But why did, you know, this was her plan when she didn't know if the dragon was male or female. The only way that it makes sense is that the source or the power is, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. And the only reason why she never used it is precisely because it's a one-use magic item.
Which it's going to have to be because, like, where does it go at the end of this episode? And you know, you'd always say like, well,
it
why?
Evaporates. Pips. It's a spoiler for later, but it disappears.
Power creep has ruined
this. Is so stupid.
Well,
yeah, that's what I was saying with the origin things, because it's like when I was making a big deal about how they say when men touch it, it's wild and they have to subdue it. That's why it was such a big thing for me, because it was like, it's not like it's just the male half of the power is wild and subdued. It was like me saying that, like, when they touch it, it's the touching, the action of the touching that makes it wild and subdued. That's what I was saying with that.
Still disagree that that's not a necessary interpretation of that sentence. But either way, we're going to move on because just like this, we've been watching this for 3,000 years.
Yeah.
Now let's keep going. Keep going, Pip.
Let's
Keep going.
Touch it for another 3,000 years, but the prologue established that the Dark One wasn't caged beforehand. And why 3,000 years? The fuck is 3,000 years significance for these people?
No, right.
Because it's how long the show has been. I don't know.
Didn't you?
They forgot
You
to
thought
write
it
the
would be
actual
Egwene.
dialogue.
Why would she think that based on what she just did?
Because in this
Taught her to channel.
non-binary world, you gotta have Egwene.
But you
be
had a
dragon.
male Sa'angreal,
So did I.
but you thought it was Egwene?
Yeah, that wouldn't make any
So did
sense.
he. That's why that scene was there. Nobody had talked about how great Egwene was.
The show sucks dick.
That braid is
It
too big
does.
for tugging. Like she's got a hand that big.
Give it a yank.
Oh,
She's a master of weaves.
Just because you can weave
Literally.
something doesn't mean it's yankable.
No, I'm saying that she's wearing a weave. She does weaves. It was yeah.
Every time I see the like 17 freaking earrings she has between her two ears, I just think of her reaction to seeing the sea folk and their earrings.
She is
Genuinely.
more like what I picture the sea folk being.
That's just because you read the parts of the story when like she was married to Lan and she gets out of the
mean all the
carriage
parts of the story?
and you know, she gets out of the carriage in Ebudar and they're talking about their marriage and they're like, oh well, last night was apparently amazing, right? And it said that she blushed. She blushed enough to shame 2 sons, maybe even 3 sons, and you were probably like, well, I mean, I guess if she can blush really red, that says something about her complexion. Wrong.
Hey,
Incorrect. How
once
dare
again,
you go to
I
jail?
frankly peg the Two Rivers folk as being somewhere between Panamanian and Greek, modern Greek in coloring.
Yeah, they're swarthy. You
Yeah,
know?
a little dark, but just enough white that they can obviously blush.
Yeah, I mean they're you know dark of hair and eyes. Dark of hair and eyes. So
But still, with all
yeah.
with all those earrings, yeah, no, that's sea folk right there.
Well, it's the thing we talked about with earrings and with tattoos and stuff like that. Generally, is that they've basically taken an actually diverse world where like different parts of the world have true diversity of different cultures and different things going on, and you can go and travel around and like experience something novel and new. And instead they made it like actually every village is pretty much, you know, just a mix of all different types of people and cultures and ethnicities and all these different things, and it's all the same.
Wait,
everywhere you go,
the community
it's all the
college
same.
commercials?
Yeah.
Really?
Tips.
Like
What we
the
got-
whole world's
Yeah.
like that? Really?
What we got here is listening to the wind.
Yeah, I know.
Which you
Can you
established.
paint with all the colors of
Tips.
the wind?
What do they know about listening
How
to the
dare
wind?
you appropriate that?
Well, she knows that she's channeling. That's what we established.
And what do you think she would have told Egwene that? Like ever?
She doesn't look very angry.
Guys,
Keep going, keep going.
I mean-
Egwene probably knows what Nynaeve knows, right? Old Mistress Baron, she listened to the wind. She went to the White Tower because she thought she
Certainly.
could channel.
Certainly, by the time that we see Egwene in the story, which we've already established,
Come on,
she
you
should
know,
have
the
been.
retro pressing everybody, like in tier, right?
So Egwene should have been already channeling naturally because she has the spark with how old she is in the show. So there's 100% chance that she would have, that Nynaeve would have recognized that she could listen to the wind. She would have started to channel, and Nynaeve would have known that she also could channel. And they'd just be channeling up a storm, you know?
you guys, what's the color of the wind?
I don't know. What did
I
they
don't
color
know.
grade it to in this scene?
In
Blue.
Robert Jordan's stuff, I'm pretty sure the color of the wind is, you know,
Blue.
black and not black, like a crew and white and black. A crew. The color you get
Blue.
when you dip white into tea.
All right, let's.
Gross.
I don't know how
And
much
there's
longer we're
honey in
going
the
here, Dane. So I'm trusting that you're going to tell me when to stop because this all is new and terrible to me.
Drunky,
so
drunky, drunk, drunk, drunky, drunky, drunk, drunk, drunk.
This is Women's Circle business.
oh, hey, look,
Are
we were
we
just
in the wine
we were just
spring?
talking
Yeah.
about her.
Of the wind.
What do you hear?
Oh, hi, Why can the
Nothing.
grow?
Ever since the day
Cut
I
it
channeled-
down. But
Quiet
you'll
lady.
never know.
Ever since the
Who
day
put
I
the
channeled,
mole
I
on
hear
the
nothing.
Egwene picture.
Except
Her parents? Like that thing's a feature of her as a person, but like, yeah.
so which
And-
No,
time?
I mean, like there was a thing where Andrew was like, "Okay, I don't really approve, but it's hilarious." Where someone took the official Watt art of Egwene and stuck a huge mole on it.
Yeah, that's
so
what
the
this is.
official art of yeah.
Like how they act like reading the wind isn't like some kind of Aes Sedai thing you can do, because it always got me that like reading the wind was some kind of like one power thing that they had.
So that's what
It is,
that's the
but-
problem with this is she was channeling when she was listening to the wind, and now she's saying as soon as she started channeling, she can't listen to the wind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was really good at walking until I learned how to run, and now I can't walk. Like what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, it also makes no sense because it's
thank you. That is exactly the point of this whole fucking dialogue, which is basically more retarded than anything I can conceive of. I am not smart enough to think of something this fucking dumb, and I am really fucking smart.
all right, let's just keep going. I don't know.
You hear anything?
started fucking channeling. I can't channel anymore. The fuck is this? Don't worry, Egwene's got you covered, though. Because not only is she better than all the male characters, she's better than you chicken-eating, fucking grape juice-sucking, racist caricature.
What is it? The same thing we had on Beltane. Something wrong. But if that was a whisper,
If you guys heard it on
This is
Bell
great.
Time, how do you like not save your village?
It hurts. It hurts. It hurts,
Show.
guys. It hurts. Dane, I don't know if you're still alive, but let's just say this is the suffering needs to end.
I know it was intolerable when I was sober. It's even worse when I'm drunk.
Is Dane actually dead?
Are you alive?
I'm alive. We got like 5 minutes to go, don't we? No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
do we?
Oh, screw you, Dane.
I was gonna say, is anybody even having fun at this point?
I watched this sober and I ate dinner and watched this and I'm like, holy fucking shit. I was just laughing by myself and I sounded like a maniac. At least here there's other people so I don't sound so crazy.
It's like showing up to an autopsy, to be honest.
Fair enough. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Gents, ladies, gents, if it's been long enough, I think we can call it.
Ladies, what are your like, how much braid tongue have you done and what do we have to say to these absolute hoes who need
Wait,
to
what?
like
Of
speak them?
the village council?
Yes, women's circle business. Shut up, Dane. This is women's circle's business. Do we need to get these ladies in sign? Like Nanive.
I want to just say
Leave
to the
Almira
hoes that
and
I'm
Queen of
glad
Beer.
They're all hoes. Oh my god! I mean,
everyone's a hoe.
they're all hoes.
But yeah, no, I'm grateful. You know, we got
they're
to come
all
on.
Damani
And
Huskies.
they let us
and
meddle in men's circle.
Caravanners and make Barreling blush, man.
Wow.
These Domani flip skirts are getting my gum.
All right. Well, okay. Lady Balefire.
At least the Saldean farm girls are honest about who they want.
It's too hard to do a proper outro.
I was trying to wrap it up. I was like, thank you to the village council for letting us meddle in their business.
Do you want to handle this? I'll say the most offensive thing at the end.
Oh,
Go ahead.
we'll
Perfect.
meddle in their business, all right.
Aludra, let's start with you. What do you have to say about what just happened to us collectively as a group? I feel like I've had to take in so much alcohol to survive.
Frankly, we really all, regardless of gender, need a good lay.
Oh man, and you were supposed to be the one making us be PG for this, which we failed at miserably, by the way.
Nuh-uh.
Hannah, what about you? What do you have to say?
I think we all had a lot of fun and got a little sloppy at the end. Just still, wanted to thank the village council for having the women's circle on. I want to reiterate what I said last time I was on, that if there, by some miracle, is some ladies listening to this and they heard the hype that the Robert Jordan fan base, the Whitecloaks, they're a bunch of sexist, misogynist piece of shit. Not true. Very welcoming fandom. It's a great time. Everyone's very kind and very respectful. So absolutely jump on board.
We'll just slap an ad on you.
Wow. See, I was trying to say we all come together when we work together, Robert Jordan's vision, when we work together, we're collaborating. It's great.
So Hannah's pointing out. Yeah, Hannah's pointing out that we're a friendly group of people, and Aludra added on a friendly group of swingers and sort of BDSM crowd.
I'm too Catholic for this, guys.
When we need her.
Lady Balefire, bring us home with something.
Right, it's just totally true. We've called out the Coplins and the Congers, and the Women Council has spoken. We cannot stand these Damani flip skirts invading the Two Rivers and our sensibilities. We're not here for this lore breaking bullshit episode. We'd like to thank
all
you
of
all
the episodes are lore breaking bullshit.
Yes, they are. And we like to thank you all for joining us in this beautiful rewatch. And I'll let you guys take it home.
Well, beautiful rewatch is probably
that
strong.
Was only a little over 2 hours, guys. I'm really proud.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm surprised that Dane and the rest of us, let alone you guys seem like you were pre-gaming this. So I'm surprised we're still, alert and talkative.
I'm surprised, but I shouldn't be. But Alex, do you want to go first on the outro for the Village Council?
I don't think there's anything to add here that hasn't already been said. This episode is incoherent at best and insulting at worst.
Go take care of your thatch.
Yeah.
Get that couplet. Ips, what's your take?
I'm gonna have to say nay. I have nothing to add.
All right.
Hey, Bornhold, you nasty child of the light invading the Two Rivers. What is your take?
Here's my take, is I had ambitions to do 9 minutes of this show and we only got through 5.
Yeah.
I should have known when inviting the women's circle onto this that this would happen.
I would like to point out that it was you that invited us and it was your idea.
So at the end of the day, it's my own fucking fault.
I was the person saying giddy up all the time, just to be
You
fair.
said it only 3 times and it wasn't enough.
Men always ask for it and women are usually willing to deliver.
So next week, I think we got a lot of ground to cover. I'm going to excite Nathan and Steve for kind of what we're going to get them on.
I think your ground might be on Jupiter.
Maybe. At the end of the day, here's how you have to view it. It's basically you ladies, you avoided a lot of terrible shit by cutting this early. At the same time, we can have a lot of
cutting it early. We can keep going. Most of us are West
We can do it all night, Dane Bornhold. You know that.
I'm pretty sure we can't because
Some of our
I
livers
don't
have been-
understand half you ladies.
Just goes to show that Rand is really the only one that comes with the dawn.
And Dane's saying that he can't understand half you ladies. I was under the impression that Dane could understand 0% of women. So this is an improvement for you then, Dane.
I want to applaud Dan's appreciation of the canon. Dane knows that only Randall Thor is capable of handling 3 women. So.
Hey! End it on that. We're done.
Well, at least Rourke and Bale can handle 2.
Yes.
I'm not Aiel. I am not.
You're not
Shadow.
a ninja.
I am not Aiel, and I am not Shadow Killer. And with that, I'll say, please subscribe, comment. We're nearly at 400 subscribers, if you can fucking believe it. We started out with 20, but 17 of those were Alex's old subscribers. So hell yeah. Keep it up. We'll be back next week with Prophet of the Dragon, Anamana Manethrin, who we call Steve and Nathan because we know them. And other than that, yeah, walk in the light.
Walk in the light.
Walk in the light, guys.
No man can
Women's
walk so
Council
long in the
has to get
shadow
the
that he
last word.
cannot walk in the light. Good
Hear,
luck,
hear.
everyone.
Here.